We now learn about radians, which for all practical purposes is a better way to measure angles. And to illustrate how radians are measured, I'll be using a circle. So I'll make a quick sketch right here. There we go. Let's say I've got a circle with center here, and I'll draw a radius right there. There we go. That's a radius r. And the whole idea behind measuring an angle in radians is to measure an angle using an arc length instead of degrees. Here's what I mean. Looking at the circle we have here with my radius r that I've already drawn, if I draw another radius r, say right there, then that forms this angle right here, which I'll call theta. And imagine walking along the circumference of this circle from the tip of this radius to the tip of the next, then I'm sure you can appreciate that you'd be walking through this arc length here, which I'll go ahead and call L. Well, to define this angle in radians, all we need is this arc length and this radius r. Indeed, that angle theta, and I'll put a little subscript in radians, so I'll write RAD, is equal to the arc length L divided by the circle's radius. And in fact, I'll go ahead and box that. There we go. So for example, and I'll quickly write example 1 here, let's say I've got a circle whose radius is 4 centimeters. So let me quickly draw that. There we go. That radius r is equal to 4 centimeters. And let's say we consider an arc length of 8 centimeters, which would bring us roughly up here. So in fact, let me draw another radius right there. There we go. And so we're saying that this arc length here, that arc, that part of the circumference of the circle, well, that's L, which equals to 8 centimeters. Well, in that case, the angle theta here in radians would be, well, according to this formula, we'd get theta in radians is equal to 8 over 4. And that's 8 centimeters divided by 4 centimeters, which of course is just 2. And we'll say it's 2 radians, R-A-D. Done. We've just measured our first angle in radians. Let's look at another example. Example 2. Again, I'll start with a circle. And this time I'll say that the radius r is 3 centimeters, so r equals to 3 centimeters. And let's say this time I consider an arc length along the circumference of the circle, which is also 3 centimeters. So that would bring us roughly here. So the arc length in this case, L, would just be equal to 3 centimeters. And so the corresponding angle theta in radians, well, again, using that same formula, we could just state that it's equal to the arc length, which is 3, over the radius, which is 3 as well. In other words, the angle in radians here would be equal to 1 radian. There we go. Now, what this formula, as well as these two examples, show us is that when we think of angles in radians, it's technically a measure of how many times bigger the arc length is compared to the radius. So in this example, the arc length was equal to the radius, which is why this angle in radians is equal to 1. In the first example, the arc length was 2 times bigger than the radius, which is why that angle in radians is equal to 2. And of course, we could also have angles in radians which are less than 1, something like 0.5, which would correspond to an arc length which is just half the length of the radius. And so from these examples alone, hopefully you can appreciate that the definition of an angle in radians is very much connected to circles and circular sectors. Alright, so strictly speaking, that's how we measure angles in radians. But of course, when it comes to angles, we're not always going to be faced with circular sectors. Indeed, we could be dealt triangles and other shapes. And so in a minute or two, we'll also be seeing how to convert any angle in degrees into an angle in radians, without having to do any of this. But before I carry on, let me say that I'm well aware that quite a few of you may be thinking, why on earth do we need to learn this? And that's a fair question. Indeed, you may well be thinking that we're perfectly happy measuring angles in degrees, so why change? And there are several reasons, but one that I'll give you right away is that by working with radians instead of degrees, we end up simplifying lots of the formula and results we'll need to use. For instance, let's consider a circular sector, something looking like this. There we go. That would be the radius r, and so this would be r as well. And let's say we have our angle theta right here. Now say we have to calculate the arc length we have here, so that part of the circumference of the circle the sector was taken from. So that would be that length there, L. Well, provided we're working with radians, to find L, all we have to do is rearrange this formula we have here to state that the arc length L is equal to theta, measured in radians, times the radius r. And that's all there is to it. On the other hand, if we were to work in degrees, then the arc length L is equal to pi times theta measured in degrees over 180 times r. And I'm sure you can appreciate that this formula here is quite a lot simpler. Or still with this circular sector here, let's say we had to calculate its area. Well, provided we're working in radians, its area is quite simple to calculate. Indeed, the area would be equal to 1/2 times the angle theta measured in radians times r squared. And still, for the sake of comparing, if we had to calculate that area with theta measured in degrees, then it would be equal to pi times theta in degrees over 360 times r squared. And these are just two of many instances where working with radians makes things far more simple. So that's why we're learning this. But now, a key skill we need to develop is to convert angles measured in degrees to radians, as well as how to convert an angle in radians back into degrees. And trust me, we're not going to be drawing circles like this every single time. But to get us on the right path, let me draw one more circle like this one, and I'll make use of this formula one last time. So here we go. Let me draw my circle. There we go. And I'll say its center is right here. And this time I'm going to consider an arc length which is equal to the entire circumference of the circle. So you can imagine walking all the way around the circumference of this circle, like so. There we go. And given the radius of the circle is r, and the angle that we've just gone through, I'm sure you'll agree, is 360 degrees, we know that the arc length here is equal to the circumference of the circle. So we can just state that L is equal to 2 pi r. Remember, the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. But now in this particular example, unlike in the first two examples I showed you, we now know what this angle corresponds to in degrees. And using the formula we have here, we can also find what it's equal to in radians. And thanks to that, we'll be able to come up with a conversion formula. And here's the whole idea. Using the formula that we have up here, we can go ahead and state that the angle we have here, so 360 degrees in radians, and I'll quickly write theta in radians, is equal to the arc length L divided by the radius, which becomes 2 pi r over r. And as I'm sure you can see, the r on the numerator and on the denominator cancel each other out, leaving us with the angle in radians, which is equal to 2 pi. And that's an important result. When working in radians, 2 pi radians corresponds to 360 degrees. And thanks to this result, we can find many other conversions between degrees and radians. And let me show you. At the top here, I'll make a little table. So I'll say theta in degrees in one column, and in the second column, its corresponding angle in radians. There we go. So we've just seen that 360 degrees corresponds to 2 pi. And so if we were to divide that result by 2, we quickly find that 180 degrees corresponds to 2 pi divided by 2, which is just pi. And I could carry on. 180 divided by 2, which gives us 90. Well, that would be pi divided by 2, so we simply write pi over 2 that way. And I could divide 90 by 2, but before I do that, I'll go ahead and divide 180 by 3. Indeed, 180 divided by 3 gives us 60, and so 60 degrees in radians will be pi divided by 3, or simply pi over 3. And carrying on this way, we can find plenty other angles. Indeed, 90 divided by 2 will give us 45, so I'll quickly write that one here, 45 degrees, and that would correspond to pi over 2 divided by 2, which would be pi over 4. And I'll quickly write a couple more before I give you an important result. Let's see, we could go for 30 if I divide 60 degrees by 2, so that would be 30 degrees, and its angle in radians would be pi over 3 divided by 2, which would give us pi over 6. And of course, 0 degrees, well, that will just be equal to 0 radians. Alright, so just using the fact that 2 pi corresponds to 360 degrees, we were able to quickly complete this table. And my advice is definitely to make sure that you're familiar with all the angles that I've listed in this table. Trust me, you're going to need to know all of these. But alongside all of these, we also want to make sure that we know how to convert any angle in degrees into radians. And for that, I'm going to be focusing on this row of the table here, this 180 degrees, which corresponds to pi. In fact, I could use any of the rows inside this table, and I'd get the same result. But trust me when I say this one is the most convenient to use right now. And here's the idea. If I were to write 180 degrees equals to pi, And I'm using the equal sign a little bit loosely there. Technically, these are both equivalent instead of equal. And from here, if I were to divide both sides of this equation by 180, then it quickly turns into 1 degree is equal to pi over 180. And this result is definitely worth keeping in mind. Indeed, thanks to this, we can quickly convert any angle in degrees into radians. And to show you that it works, let me quickly show you how I would show that 30 degrees is equal to pi over 6 using this result. Well, all I'd have to do is multiply both sides of this result by 30. And so on the left-hand side of this result, if I multiply by 30, well, I just get 30 times 1 degrees, which is just 30 degrees. And on the right-hand side, we'll have pi over 180 times 30. Now, pi times 30, well, that's just 30 pi. So this quickly turns into 30 pi over 180. And the key thing to notice here is that 180 is a multiple of 30. Indeed, it's equal to 6 times 30. So this is equal to 30 pi over 30 times 6. And canceling out that common factor of 30, we obtain the result that we had, which was 30 degrees is equal to pi over 6. And pushing all of this a little bit further, for any row inside this table, if we divide the angle in radians by the angle in degrees, it will always equal to pi over 180. Indeed, 2 pi divided by 360 is equal to pi over 180. Pi over 180, of course, is pi over 180. And pi over 2 divided by 90, again, is equal to pi over 180. And something similar could be said for all of these angles. And using that fact provides us with a very convenient formula to convert angles between degrees and radians. And let me write that formula down. I'll just move everything to the side a little bit. There we go. And here it is. Any angle in radians divided by its corresponding angle in degrees gives us the ratio pi over 180. And that's definitely a result you want to make careful note of. And it's particularly convenient because it can be rearranged. Indeed, let's say I want a formula to find any angle in radians. Well, starting from this and multiplying both sides by theta in degrees, we can quickly state that an angle in radians is equal to pi over 180 times its corresponding angle in degrees. And we can use this formula anytime we need to convert an angle given in degrees into radians. For example, let's say we had to convert 150 degrees into radians. Well, using this formula, we could state that 150 degrees in radians is equal to pi over 180 times 150. Now, multiplying this fraction by 150, all we do is multiply the numerator by 150. So that's pi times 150, which is 150 pi, and that's 150 pi over 180. Now, I'm sure you can appreciate that that's the same thing as 15 pi over 18, where I got rid of a factor of 10, and I can still go further and get rid of a common factor of 3. Indeed, 15 is 3 times 5, and 18 is 3 times 6. So 150 degrees in radians would be 5 pi over 6. And we're done. We've just converted 150 degrees into radians. And in fact, I could write a little RAD here for radians. Here's another example. Let's say we had to convert 40 degrees into radians. Well, again, using this formula, we could quickly state that theta in radians is equal to pi over 180 again times 40. Now that turns into pi times 40, in other words, 40 pi over 180. So that's equal to 40 pi over 180. And that's equal to 4 pi over 18, which I can still simplify further to state that that's equal to 2 pi over 9. And we're done. 40 degrees corresponds to 2 pi over 9, or 2/9 of pi radians. And I should say at times we won't have to write our answers in terms of pi. Indeed, with a calculator and rounding to 3 significant figures, 2 pi over 9 would be 0.698 radians. Alright, so thanks to this, we now know how to convert any angle in degrees into its equivalent angle in radians. But what about if we have an angle in radians that we need to convert into degrees? Well, let's do that right now. Again, I'll make myself a little bit of space. There we go. And once more, I'll start from this result that I boxed at the top here. To get to this formula to convert any angle in degrees to an angle in radians, all we did starting from this formula is make the angle in radians the subject. And so now to convert any angle in radians into an angle in degrees, we'll do the same for the angle in degrees. In other words, we'll make theta degrees the subject. And by all means check, but in doing so, you should find that the angle theta in degrees is equal to 180 over pi times its corresponding angle in radians. And in fact, I'll go ahead and box that one as well. There we go. Now I'm sure you can appreciate that these two formula are very, very similar. The key thing to remember is that when you're looking for an angle in radians, the pi is at the top of the fraction, and when you need to convert radians into degrees, the pi is at the bottom of the fraction. At least that's the way I tend to remember it. Alright, so let's see how we can use this formula. And I'll just quickly make a quick example. Let's say we had to convert pi over 10 radians into degrees, so pi over 10 rad. Alright, well, using this formula, we could state that its corresponding angle in degrees would be equal to 180 over pi times pi over 10. And now multiplying these two fractions together, so we'd have 180 pi over pi times 10, in other words 10 pi. So this quickly turns into 180 pi over 10 pi. And now looking at this, I'm sure you can appreciate that the pi's will cancel out, and we also have a common factor of 10. And so canceling all of that out, we quickly find that pi over 10 radians is equivalent to 18 degrees. And we're done. Let's look at another example. Let's say we had to convert 2 pi over 3 radians into degrees. Well, once more we use our formula, so theta in degrees is equal to 180 over pi times 2 pi over 3. And so again, we multiply the numerators together and the denominators together, which quickly leads to 180 times 2, which is 360 times pi, so 360 pi, over pi times 3, so 3 pi. Now 360 is equal to 3 times 120, so we can get rid of the common factor of 3, which will leave us with 120 on the numerator, and of course we have a common factor of pi on both numerator and denominator, so we can get rid of that as well. In other words, 2 pi over 3 radians in degrees is just equal to 120 degrees. Alright, let me show you one last example to showcase the fact that you can still use this formula for angles in radians that you typically come across on calculator papers. So here it is, I'll just write another example here. Let's say we had to convert 1.13 radians into degrees. Well, of course, for that you take a calculator, but the angle in degrees that corresponds to would be given by 1.13 times 180 over pi. And by all means check with your calculator, but I find that that's equal to 64.7 degrees. And we're done. Okay, hopefully you now have a good understanding of what an angle measured in radians actually represents. And thanks to the table that we derived here, as well as the important key result that I'm hovering over right now, you now feel confident converting any angle in degrees into an angle in radians, as well as any angle in radians into an angle in degrees. And that's it for this tutorial.